What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to take a second look at putting the steering column in. I'm sure you're asking yourself, wait a minute, didn't we already mount the steering column? We sure did, so stay tuned to find out why. What I'm really working on is this monstrosity of a wiring harness. So now we're doing wiring. I thought you said we were doing the steering column. Maybe we're drinking too many Miller Lights instead of coffees in the garage today. Okay, here's what it is. So, in effort not to make a 6-month video of me cutting up the wiring harness, kind of like we did the seat, I'd like to try and avoid that. So we're going to kind of look at things as we go, as I'm digging through that wiring harness. The wiring harness has a ton of stuff that has to be changed. Some of it eliminated, but most of it kept. The back doors is really the only thing that we're eliminating. Everything else is being kept and probably moved. There was a lot of controls in the doors. In the truck, I'm not going to be able to run all that much wire to the doors. I haven't figured out a good way to do that. So a lot of that stuff that's controlled in the doors will have to get moved in, probably to the center console. So that'll all have to be moved and rearranged. All the sensors that were in weird places, like behind the back seat, in the trunk, etc., they'll have to have a new home. So all that is going to take just a lot of thinking and figuring out where things need to go and cutting up that loom, rewiring stuff. So that's going to be a long, drawn-out process. I don't want to make that a week-by-week, hey, we moved the lumbar controls from there to the seat. You know, we might have a 3-hour movie that you watch at some point, but it'll be in all one video. One last thing. Warning, the following video contains lots of sarcasm from a negative point of view. If I didn't want to help you guys, I wouldn't have made this video. So don't get all mad when I sound negative. Okay, a couple reasons why we are revisiting this. First of all, I get this question all the time. How did we do this? We did this before, but I was very new to YouTube. That was video number 2, and I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't, but I'm a little bit better at explaining things. So we're going to try and recap what we did. This piece, that is the dash cross member from the car in its entirety, with the exception. We have welded a bracket onto the front of it. This bracket is what attaches to the front lip underneath the dash here. So that's how that's attaching. Other than that, we just cut it off right there. And we just used half of it instead of it running from one length to the other. So that's the main structure of what's holding the steering column in there. I just have a plate that goes under the dash and then on top of the bottom lip of that. That clamps that together onto this lip that we had right there. In addition to that, I drilled a hole in the side and mounted that to the cross piece right here on the side, kind of the cow structure. I don't know, whatever that little cross piece is, that's where it's mounted. Then the last piece we have is this piece right here. That bolted up to the back of this piece with that screw right there. That was on the firewall of the car. I cut that off and moved it forward because that's what it needed to do. That's roughly 4 inches forward. Whatever that works out, I don't know. So this is the main component holding in the steering column. Let's put that in. Okay, we've established that's where the column is mounting. Let's talk about the rest of the components all the way from the rack and pinion up to the wheel. Right off the rack, there is a shaft about this long. I did a video where I lengthened that. That has always been one piece. I repeat, that has always been one piece. I cut it and lengthened it. When I lengthened it, I used a steering shaft out of a GM van that a friend of mine had that happened to be the same size as that shaft, so it was perfect to weld to. It never collapsed. Never. Quit saying in the comments it did. Either way, after you go through that shaft that we lengthened, the reason why we lengthened it is because we moved this knuckle. This knuckle needed to be up onto my firewall, and in order to do so, I lengthened that one to get to this one. So this meets at the firewall, and all it does is just firewall, boom, mounts right there. So that's that part. So now we're through the firewall to this point. Here is the first safety collapsible piece. So this here slides and still does. So therefore, me lengthening that one that was already solid did not take away any of the crash safety thing. This is already way safer than one long rod all the way down to the steering box. So wash it on those. Alright, here's that knuckle mounted through the firewall. I did have to put a little bit of a bend out there, which you can get a better shot of that if you see one of the firewall videos. But that was just to compensate to keep that angle the same, going from there to the rack and pinion to up where we're going to have the knuckle on the actual column itself. Side note number 900 of this video of 10,000. There is update on the gas tank at the end, so stick around for that. But anyway, with the hood, I didn't show you underneath the hood because it's awful to work under and you really can't see anything at all. I've got the hood put on with the stock hinges right now because I need the space. I hate the way that that sits. The fitment is terrible that way. With looking online, everybody's doing the reverse hood because it lines up a lot better. You can get access. So, spoiler alert, we are going to do that at some point in time in the future. And if you want to learn how to do that and not spend $500 on a kit to do so, you might want to subscribe to the channel. When are we going to do that? Who knows? Because, I mean, everybody knows I'm taking my sweet ass time to get this built. Back to the task at hand. Knuckles in. Framework is there for mounting the column. Let's look at the column. Alright. With this column, I made some modifications. These here were up to about here. So I moved those up probably 2-3 inches. This here was another piece that safety collapses. I collapsed that maybe halfway, and the reason I did so was because we needed to get this knuckle away from the firewall. Since there's not nearly as much room from this dash lip to the firewall as what there was in the car, we had to change that. Same reason we had to lengthen the front shaft to get it to reach the firewall, because that all came back. The dash is probably in a similar spot, but the firewall is in a different location. And just to make everything work, we moved that back, crunched that down just a little bit there. Still got a little bit there, but you know, not nearly what it had. And then we're going to keep these bolts as what we had, and then I welded two to this framework to maintain strength right there with both of those. So that's all the modification we really did to that. Other than that, it slides right up in and bolts in. Alright, here's what it looks like underneath. This is where I was saying you still got that, you know, crush component in the case of an accident. Here's where the knuckle is. Like I said, we moved this plate forward just a little bit just to move this knuckle inside. It just gave it better geometry from the shaft up here down to the rack and pinion itself. So that is why I did that, is simply it just made for more fluid angles. Okay, so there's the column mount. I hope that helped some of you guys that, you know, those videos weren't clear. I get it. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing to revisit it. I needed to put this back in anyway because there's a lot of wiring that comes up to here. We got to figure out the runs on that, and that's, you know, where that is. But while we're talking about the column, some of the things I'm looking at addressing going forward, you know, I still have these plastic pieces that go over though. That's huge. It's huge. So I don't know. I haven't tossed these, but I don't like the thought of it because it's a lot slimmer than that in here. So I don't know if we can go and eliminate some of the things in there to get that smaller. Maybe make this housing smaller, or just make a new one altogether. The steering wheel itself, we're gonna, that's gone. It's the wrong color, first of all. I can't have this tan steering wheel in there. Probably going to eliminate the airbag. I would like to keep the controls for the cruise control right there, since it will have cruise control, but probably going to do a custom wheel, no airbag, none of this plastic, and just try and integrate those, keep those controls, and slimline the column. So that's where we'll eventually get to that, but yeah, goal now is get the truck running. We'll take care of that later. Okay, we joked around a lot in this video. At least I hope you guys knew that I was joking. I hope this did help the people that were looking at the other videos and said, hey man, it wasn't very clear. You had the music super loud, like, what were you even doing there? So hopefully this clears that up and helps you guys along the way. With helping you along the way, that's what this is all about, is just sharing my experience so that it may help you and you may help me. On that note, we had some really good comments from the last video where we mounted the gas tank. Two of them I want to point out right now. One of them was the thought of moving the gas tank forward and putting it right behind the cab. That way you could keep the bed height low to the top of that cross member, and then you would still have all the clearance, you know, do the bump up at the front of the bed, you know, closest to the cab. So that would keep you a nice bed depth all the way through. I thought that was a really good idea, worth mentioning. We're not going to do that because I've got plans for right behind the cab already, but still a good idea. Second of all, the way that we mounted the tank, we did the straps around. Somebody had mentioned what I thought was a fantastic idea. The way I did that angle iron all the way around, that left a lip. There was a mention of putting angle iron just on the inside, making just a slightly smaller frame that would sandwich that around the entire gas tank. Then I could put bolts in through the sides and it would still hold it in there. I thought that was a great idea. Nice clean look is what that would have done. I'm not going to go back and change it because I've already done that, but if you're looking to do that, that might be a direction that you want to go with yours. Alright, well, that's it. I'm going to get back to trying to figure out this wiring. Till I think of something else. We'll see you next time.